Bro, I couldn't even make this up even if I wanted to. Mallow, Lana, and Lillie all become magical girls. Was I really watching the Pokemon anime? Once again though, Sun and Moon is wild, bro. But in a lovable way. This scene was simply stunning. Stay tuned for more. What's going on, guys? I'm Entity Maze, and recently a brand new episode for the Pokemon Sun and Moon anime aired on TV. Episode 113, a new program, the small melody of Magikarp, which it was an adequate time watching the episode until the very end. So because of that, I decided for today's video that I will review this latest episode. Hopefully getting yourself to check out the episode too, if you haven't already. Let me know in the comments down below for today's question of the day though, what you thought of this episode. I'd love to hear. With my intro for this video now set though, let's jump right into this review. So the episode begins off with Sophocles competing in a quiz show within the Alolan TV studio to truly test his knowledge on Pokemon. However, he unfortunately lost, which definitely surprised me, as he, alongside Lillie, is definitely one of the most smartest main characters. But I guess the very brief scene we got to see of this quiz show was quite adequate at least. And after some refreshments, George, the Alolan Detective Lackey Director, encounters our gang, and then tells them about a TV show drama revolving around a Magikarp that's about to record a new episode, which interests our gang, so we decide to go to the set to watch this recording session. Boy, don't let that distract you from the fact that Pikachu was incredibly adorable during this scene. Like bro, just look at it, it's really heartwarming. I swear to god that this art style as well just makes everything 2 times more cuter. Anyway, at the set, our gang starts to notice something fishy with the Magikarp actor. It was glowing and making weird noises. But whilst this is happening, 2 workers come crying to George that they don't have any actors for their upcoming TV show about magical girls, which George then witnesses potential in our Alola girls and asks them to perform the main roles for him, which they all accept. Then going off to practice the script for this TV show, which were cute scenes when we got to see them. As going back to the main focus, we soon realized that Magikarp was trying to evolve, as it had evolved into a Gyarados, and it then starts crashing many sets in the TV studio, due to being scared of this evolution, or something like that. The point is, it's basically a cliche Gyarados story, but after George calms it down, everything is then a-okay. And the next day, we then witness our Alola girls debut on the Alola TV screens, where they play as cliche Japanese schoolgirls but then encounter a Gyarados villain, this being the same Gyarados from before, and then they transform into magical girls with drinks to defeat this villain, which was incredibly unexpected. Yet, I agree with Vash, this was amazing, this was stunning. Like bro, was I even watching the Pokemon anime here? I don't care though, it was something very attractive. You betcha these girls were looking cuter than ever before as well. And the animation, bro, oh, it was breathtaking. Whew, what a great ending to the episode. I wish I could describe this scene more, but you really do have to watch it for yourself to witness the full glory. Fun fact, the outfits our Alolan girls were wearing were a reference to some characters in the Magical Girl anime Pretty Cure. So that's a pretty sweet Easter egg as well. Of course though, if you think about it, everything beforehand was pretty much a nod to any kind of school magical girl anime as well, such as Sailor Moon. God, I love Sun and Moon so much at times. With that story now said though, let's now move on to my overall thoughts regarding this episode. Starting with the story, regardless of the magical girl segment, to be honest, I found almost everything to be quite dull before it. And that's mainly because we've seen a story like this before. aka a Magikarp evolving into a Gyarados and then going on a rampage. The only difference being that this Gyarados wasn't blinded by anger, it just accidentally caused a rampage. Not only that though, but I feel like the build up to this main plot point took too long, already making things pretty tiresome in the beginning, that being the crucial's fault and reintroduction to George's character. However, both of them were kinda needed to elevate the story, so I can at least respect that. But I do wish there was another way for things to pick up the pace. Seeming as I just mentioned the quiz show as well, I honestly thought we would see more of this because of what the summary said. And after watching the Magikarp story, I honestly wish we did get to watch more of it, that being the main focus instead. So I guess that's also another disappointing factor regarding this episode. But you know what else I'd have loved to see take the overall focus instead? The Magical Girl TV show. It was such a bizarre yet lovable concept. I'd say make the first 10 minutes of the episode be dedicated to what Alone Girls get every role, and then practice for it in some comedic ways, for then the last 10 minutes of the episode to show us the final product the Alone Girls had made, instead of the 5 minutes we got within this episode. So that way, we get to see more action in the final product, and provide us more of that enjoyment. Like surely, I cannot be the only one who thinks this would have been a much better focus for this episode. In fact, myself just talking about each plot element in this episode, that being the quiz show, the Gyarados rampage, and this Magical Girl segment, makes everything seem overwhelming as well, which is another reason why I'd have liked to see the Magical Girl section be extended. So that way there isn't any other side stories crammed into one episode. And like I said, the Gyarados plot was as cliche as you can get, which is why I'll choose the Magical Girl segment over it. But overall it seems like I'm maybe bashing the main focus of this episode. Don't get me wrong, as you clearly saw in the storytelling section, there was at least a few scenes I admired. But for sure, there was a lot of potential gone to waste, which just leaves me expressing my disappointment here. But to at least focus on some positives, again, I adored the Magical Girl segment so much, it being my favourite section within the entire episode, if you haven't guessed already. It was just so unexpected to see within a Pokemon episode. Yet, not only was it just a fun concept anyway, but it also worked very well for the plot, not just simply being that it was a TV show and nothing real. Like seriously, this was an excellent showcase of Sun and Moon's willingness to embrace wacky ideas and then performing it in an extraordinary way. The countless Easter eggs is always a bonus too, and I have so much fun going over them in future Easter egg videos. But also being the reason why I didn't mention every single one in this single video. But altogether, that now concludes this story section. So, let's now move on to the animation and music aspects. Firstly for the animation, the entire episode looked as decent as can be, but you know that the animation was simply sexy in the Magical Girl transformation scene. Huge props to I1 for that animation. Literally the definition of eye candy. Okay, maybe that's going too far, but the point is, for Pokemon standards, that scene was alluring. So because of that, it added an extra positive flair to the episode. Not only that though, but I found quite a few cool transitions within this episode, such as the flower crown transition. So good job on that as well, animators. It caught my eye in a nice way. And as for the music aspects, to be honest, there wasn't really any highlights for me personally, except maybe the music during the chase sequence. However, the music of the entire episode was also as decent as the animation. So, that's good at least. And with that said, that concludes every section for this review. So altogether, as you should see, I found a majority of this episode to be lackluster. However, I had a field trip of fun towards the very end, which is why I would at least recommend that you watch this episode simply for the last 5 minutes. Though, if you're a new viewer to this anime who hasn't watched any old series episodes, you may find enjoyment with the Gyarados main focus. So I would then recommend you watch the entire episode if that's the case. But if you have watched this episode though, then do let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this episode though. I'd love to hear, as we all have different perspectives. This now finishing off today's review. So if you enjoyed this video, then please be sure to consider leaving a like, a share, and if you're new here, a subscribe along with hitting that bell icon to stay in loop with all things Pokemon anime related. If you want to support this channel any further way, I also have a Patreon. Thank you for watching, everybody. This is Entity Maze, signing out.